that you can open up and you can just talk in there. But I'll go ahead and just get started with like a general gym tour, and then we can start talking about any of the individual things that you guys might have questions on going through the gym like this. Sound good? Of course, it sounds good. There's nobody's in the chat yet. All right, so this is the gym. Parkour Visions is a 10,000 square foot space. We run like 4 classes at a time, 4 or 5 classes at a time in this space, kids and adults, everybody here. It might seem on STURDYmade that like I'm hosting a lot of the stuff that we do here, and I'm really interested in the building. But in reality, we have 5 full-time staff members here who are all coming up with awesome ideas for us to build or new things for us to create. And then we have like 14 part-time coaches who are teaching the majority of the classes and using this stuff. And what we tend to find is that just based on all the different ways that our coaches use the equipment, we come up with new ideas for new stuff to put out there. So we have a full-scale rock climbing wall that was built by Vertical World in there. It's pretty cool. We don't use it as often. If we were to do it again, I think we build it ourselves with more of an urban aesthetic, just because it's kind of disparate from the rest of the gym and people don't get into it as much. The majority of our equipment moves around, so all this stuff you see over here, apart from this wall and the giant boxes in the back there, all of this moves around. Some of it has wheels, some of it we use as a dolly to move around. Even this big angle guy right here. This giant guy, this is the overhang. It used to be upright like this, and we flopped it in pretty much every way that we could figure out. Setting it up here in the gym, every like 2 weeks it moves around. Generally the gym changes on like a weekly basis. So it's in a very strange configuration here. We'll walk around. We'll go over some of this stuff later. We just recently got an air trick in the gym, which is really, really cool. Have not seen them, definitely look it up. It's much better in a spring floor, in my opinion. And we can deflate it, move out of the way. Oh, we have a computer over here. Let me check the comments, see if it's working. Okay, whatever. One of the cool new things that we have in the gym now is we've always wanted high bars that didn't have bars along the bottom. So Duncan and Eric came up with the cool idea of just attaching wall bars to the wall wherever we need bars coming out of it. So we developed a really nice strap mount. I'm getting close here. This is, I posted this to the group. This is like a heavy duty pipe strap that I got off McMaster car, and it's bolted into this block here with T-nuts. And then once you get that tight, we screw it in with structural screws. And these are cool. We only need to put them up like 1 every 7 feet, and it makes a really strong connection. And we just have to loosen these up in the back here, lift the bar up, lift the bar down. It's really nice. I can show you over here. This is kind of like our mini cage area, mini scaffolding. So you can have bars here that go up and down, you have bars over where the camera is that go up and down. You can set these up and go across the wall here. It's a really nice system. We're pretty happy with it. The other thing that we started to do is we have a couple permanent elements, and all of those permanent elements are usually spaces for our other equipment to like be brought up against so that we can kind of build out from that. So this is a permanent pillar that we built similar to like what Apex does, where they have a lot of different pillars and they have bars coming out from them. We have some wall bars that are going to go on this so that we can attach other bars to this. And then right now we just sort of like strap different things to it. But this is permanently anchored into the ground, and we have a video on this coming out soon. So this way. There's some general durable boxes and stuff. And this is a balance beam. This moves around in the gym a lot. Right now it's just stuck inside of the box. This is new. We put out a platform video on STURDYmade. We use these up against walls. We also lift up the other end over there, there's 2 platforms that are making that table over there. What we've done with this one is, come around this side. You can see. We put rubber on the top, on the front, on the bottoms, and even kind of like on the inside. And the whole thing is made out of plywood sheets now to give it a lot of strength. We found that the old platforms started to break down. They were made temporarily. They were made with kind of crappy ply. And this is the new version, which is nice. It's very, very heavy. Put this together to show you guys some of the methods that we're using for cleaning up our equipment. So like this is a piece of equipment. It's called Shimzilla that can be flat on the ground or upright or on its underside. I think we can't look at those for the video. Let's take a look at the comments real quick. Nobody's hating us yet, so hopefully this is working. So this box, this is a half of a ball box. We put this up against walls. What we've done is just strap this together with trucking straps, and then we stuck plate weights on the inside, and it makes it so that it's actually like it's really stable from the top. At least we can get it to move. The straps are very, very tight, and we only have 80 pounds of weight in there. But we build these shelves in all of our boxes so we can just throw a bunch of weight in. And this way we can kind of just expand and make these sort of structures. We don't have them down right now, but we have some traveling rings. You can see those. Those are a lot of fun. We had some guys come in and they really wanted traveling rings in the gym, so we helped them install them and we're done. This area, but it's just lots of bars all over this place. We have the bathroom grab bars up on the ceiling. And we usually just fill that place up with ropes and things like that. Make it interesting. One of my favorite things in the gym is the cage. We call the cage. This is Eric, front desk. This is money. Yeah. It's live, man. It's live. Okay. So this is the cage. You can just wander through it if you want. This is we've posted this to the group a lot of different times, and if you guys have any questions on it, we can answer it later. But recently we put wall bars in all along this plywood wall, and it makes the whole thing much more open. We have a lot more room to not have bars on the ground and to stick bars on all over the place. So it's been really nice to build off of this space here. Something that we haven't posted to the group at all, that I can briefly show. This is what we call a quarter rail. This is the things come out of the slots, and there's blocks that fit inside the slots. So the idea is to drop this in, drop the bar in, and you have an adjustable height. Precision bar, you can swing from these if you weigh it down quite a bit. We use this for underbars a lot. We put 2 bars in and have to fit through the gap. It's a good system. This is Duncan's creation. But for the next version, if we were to rebuild this, we would do this part out of plywood, because anytime you're using lumber like this, it'll warp over time with moisture coming in, and the channel changes size, which makes it kind of annoying to use. This is also something we haven't posted to the group. This is our wall, portal wall. This comes apart in bolts, and this is entirely made out of plywood. So it's like the quarter rail, but it's set up to just be as heavy and strong as we can make it. This has been really, really nice. We like this setup a lot. We have had a stacking system in our gym for quite a long time now. We call these the tiki boxes. And what this is just a 2-inch overlap in between 2 boxes. It's pretty nice. We have a couple different things that fit on the top. We have just more of this general square things that stack up like Legos. Toe back there. You can see this is called the cash box. It's really nice for kongs and dashes and things like that, where you don't have to worry as much about your feet hitting. I've been meaning to update this stacking system a bit. It puts a lot of stress on the plywood, and you have to like really glue it down well. So let's check for comments. We're going to show you guys the different, we have a setup here for showing all the different kinds of precision printers that we use. I can also show off some of the vault boxes and the different design choices we made going through that. If you guys have questions as we go through this, we're going to be checking the stream on a fairly regular basis. Again, if you can get into the Hangout, I'm not sure if it works as well as the YouTube, but the Hangout comments, I believe we get right away because the YouTube is like 30 seconds behind the rest of this stuff. But we'll browse through it, and any question that we can kind of understand.
All right, so we got a question here. Where do people keep their stuff when they're training in your gym?
So we have bathrooms and cubbies in the far corner of the gym. We can show you. We like to have the cubbies not up front. We've never had anybody try to steal stuff, but the idea would be you come to the back of the gym, change the bathrooms, and you have cubbies there. Staff right now puts their shit in the kitchen or up in the lounge.
And somebody asked about the pyramid box. Should we go take a look at it?
Okay, we can get a close up on that. Does this one have a name, or is it just pyramid?
It's just the pyramid box.
It's a pyramid box. This is another tiki fit. So this latches in here. This is like the weirdest built thing ever. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing it this way. I don't know. Duncan went to town on this. But yeah, it's strong and heavy. So that's what kind of matters for this. I really like these actually for landing on from different directions and having a precision target. It's really nice to be able to let one foot kind of miss, right? Or if you miss, you can bounce off rather than like slipping and shinning or something like that. It's very hard to shin yourself on something that has big angled surfaces like that.
Okay, can you show us what some of the insides of the boxes look like?
If you want to see any particular, let us know. I'll show off the vault boxes design real quick here. So this is probably like Mark III of our vault box designs. We've gone through a lot of different ones, but there's a guide that I posted to the group a few times. It's STURDYmade.dozuki.com that goes through how to build. I think it's actually this version of the vault box is what most of the pictures are from. But it just has a bottom base. This one's framed out of 2x4s, which work. We do a lot of stuff out of 2x6s now as well. You put your studs in on 16-inch centers. You have a top that reinforces it so that you're not coming down too hard on just plywood. You always want to have some kind of backing behind the plywood. And what I always have to tell people, use lots and lots of screws. So this is the first design. I see a lot of people at gyms put the handles up high like this, which works at least for like tipping it up. This has wheels, so it's nice for that on this one. But in terms of like moving all boxes around farther distances, we found that actually like just having one big hole in the bottom tends to be nicer because two people can get in here and deadlift the whole box up and not having to worry about like it running into stuff. So what we've done now, come over here, is we have one big hole in the bottom and we make it as wide as we can so that we can slide a plate weight in here or we can slide other weight. This is a boat fender that's filled with steel sand. It weighs about 30 pounds. And we just throw those into the bottom and it helps give it some lateral stability. And then this is the next version of that. The same general concept. This one though has nicer handles. There's plywood on the inside of this as well as on the outside. So you have 1.5 inches thick of grip. And then we do a 1/2 inch roundover with a router bit to both the front and the back. And it gives you just a really nice grab with your hand. We found that like when you're trying to transport these boxes long distances, having 3/4 of an inch dig into your hand over a long time just sucks a lot. The other thing about this new box design is that it has a tiki holder, basically, just like the tiki boxes do. And this is the base that it slots into here. So this base, you have more room here. You don't have to worry about like chinning and having weird chin marks. Like you can land on this if you want, or you can land up here, which is nice. So this is Duncan's new design. I like it a lot. We're gonna be taking this around to schools and stuff.
Okay, we got is the wall mounted to the floor? The wall the cage connects to?
Yeah, our gym is a donut shape. So we have this central area that has 2 offices on the bottom and a parent viewing area up top. And this was one big structure that existed when we took over the space, and we blew out some of the walls to make it more open. And the rest of it is, it's probably not anchored into the ground actually, but it was built very oddly when we came to it. So we reinforced it with ply and it made it stiff enough so that we can attach stuff to it. And
then also lots of star heads instead of Phillips. Reason for that?
You can see that in the video. That's pretty impressive. Torx is my favorite screw head. Whatever one you choose, you kind of want to just stick with that. Phillips was originally made to tear out as like a security feature. There's been some enhancements to it in different versions, but like it's not nice to use over time. If you're using the screw to actually screw in and screw out, it's too easy to strip in my opinion. So I like Torx. Square is okay too, but Torx is just like the easiest for me.
Okay. Is there a dress code?
For coaches, yes. For students, we'll yell at them. I suppose we can kick them out for whatever reason we want.
Okay.
Is that a comment on
that's a question. Yeah, you just look like crap. Okay, can you guys talk about what you do for grip and what the other gyms like Apex do?
Yeah, let's go over to the high wall. Demonstration. You might need to shoot this from an angle. We use a product called Polyway as our clear coat finish. After we stain the wood, we do 3 coats of Polyway, and we use walnut shells, ground up walnut shells, which is a standard additive that you can buy, and we put that on the second coat, and that tends to work well for things that you want to be kind of rough, like concrete would feel outside. In general, though, the finish that we use tends to actually do a pretty good job. Like this is the low wall, and this gets a lot of use all the time. And as long as it's not wet, it has really good grip for your hands and for your feet. So like it really just takes a lot of experimentation to find the solution that you like. Origins uses a different method. Apex, I don't think anyone uses our Polyway.
Just talk about the palm oil.
There's also what I call palm oil finish, which is these boxes over here. So all the big things we didn't bother with coating. This lovely like shade of weird color is all air stained and palm oil finished, just raw wood that's been turned. And actually, after a while, the raw wood actually gets a fairly decent grip.
It's better than the Polyway. It just takes a long time.
It's better than the Polyway. The Polyway protects the wood more, though, and what we like about it the most is that it dries in like total dry time is 2 hours, but in reality you can put on another coat in like half an hour. So we can do like 3-4 coats really quickly in one day and put it out on the floor later in that day. It's good for use.
Do you want to do look at the concrete wall while we're talking about grip?
Yeah. So the other methods to do this, if you're using paint, you can put sand in the paint, like playground sand, which is a fairly fine sand, which works decently well. The walnut shells tend to work well in clear coats and not very thick additives because they have a little bend to them. They're not as dense and pointy as sand is. This is our attempt at making a true concrete wall where we used actual concrete and different kinds of epoxy paint to add it and make this. you'd have to ask. I think in the group we posted the complete method we use for this, but it's okay. Like any of this is the same sort of thing that they use on the rock climbing wall, and it tends to wear down a bit, and you get stuff on the ground. But it's a nice way to have some realistic concrete in the gym. It takes a lot of experimentation though in figuring out exactly the process that you want, because you gotta lay these down flat. Any like really heavy coating that you put on stuff, you really want to apply it when it's flat. There's other products that are it's called Restore or something. It's been in the Sturdy group a couple times. It's just a heavy epoxy paint with aggregate added in for grip, and it also does a good job of making things drippy, but it like dries. It takes a long time to dry, and you have to apply it when it's flat.
What's on the second level?
It's just parents viewing area up there.
I can go up there.
You can show them, Colin. Most of this is donated. Goodwill chairs, church pews, tiny desk. We built a little bit of a bar for the parents to work on, and we have a fire pole. Which is fun. That obviously didn't exist before we put it in. We just tore a hole in the ceiling.
And this is our tree.
This is our tree.
It's about to go away.
It hasn't really grown any, so I think it's defective. We might bring it back. Okay, let's talk about the precision trainers then, while people have some other questions. Let's see, we made a nice arrangement for you guys.
Let's do it the other side because the windows are going to blow you out.
So we put together a nice arrangement for you guys of all the different things that occupy our floor quite a lot. We have a system where at the end of a class, a coach will put away like all of this stuff, which is the smaller items that there tends to be a lot of that they use for precision trainers, for strike targets, or boundaries or whatever, and they'll leave out the boxes and the larger things. And generally, like the next coach will take those boxes and stuff and use it as inspiration for the course that they're going to have in the class or something like that. So we have a lot of different kinds of these. We've used different stuff all over the years. I'll just run through some of the names that we have for them and what we like about them. This is an important piece of equipment that I don't think too many gyms use. It's called a Kurt Jordan. That's because its inventor's name is Kurt Jordan. It's a horse-stall-matic. It's the same thing that's on our floor, and it's just the floor that's cut into a target. This one was painted at one time and still has a little bit of color left. We use this. You can just throw it on the ground, and boom, you have a zero danger precision element there. There's nothing that you're going to really fall off of or twist your ankle on or anything like that. This is the standard wooden precision trainers that a lot of gyms use. Plenty of tutorials out on this a lot. It's decent. We are moving away from it now. It's not nice when you miss it and you roll off it. What we're liking a lot more is what we are calling turtles. So same sort of idea where you have one target to land on, but each of the edges are slanted so that when you miss, you can land on any of these slanted ends. This one is small enough, it's geared towards just using as a stride target, so 1 foot on top of this guy. But it's so cool. We're going to be building a lot more of these. It takes definitely a lot more time than just throwing these together, but it's just really nice to, there's very little missing and ankle rolling that we get when we use these sort of things. This is all wood, by the way. So the inside is just cut to fit with the angles and then ply on top of it and rubber on the bottom.
And rubber on the top.
And rubber on the top.
Flush.
Which is not needed, but it's nice. This is a tire. We made a video on this as well. We use this as a precision target sometimes, but often this is more sort of like a springboard or a step-off platform for doing higher jump or something like that. These are what we made a video about and called them launch pads. We call them thuglets in the gym because they are tiny versions of the box that Colin built. And it's a very simple design. I would recommend, in the video we made it out of like 2x8s or 2x12s or something like that. I would just take the top and build it out of 2 layers of ply, out of 2 layers of 3/4 ply. Like this big one is built over here. This is text. And then you can put 4x4s in the middle and attach it together. And that just makes it flat so that it's stackable. Any lumber that you use that's like a 2x variety will tend to warp over time, and you'll get a little bit of a roll. This one I'd also make a little wider as well, bring it out this way a little bit. It is possible to hit this on the end and have it tip on you, flip over. This is one of our latest designs. This is another one of Duncan's creations. We call this the Twix bars, and the top is got a nice walnut coating on it. The sides are double up ply. Got just 3 inner bracing 2x6 members, and it's got rubber all along the bottom, which makes anytime you see a lot of rubber on our stuff, it means it's very, very heavy. This is great for these sort of things because it is a very bomber precision platform. You can land on this from far away and you're good. It's got an angle to it. The angle makes it nicer to land on and miss a little bit, and it also makes it so that you can't tip it from the other side because you're not pushing on the full outer edge of it.
This is essentially the top of one of our vault boxes.
Yeah, it really is like cut a vault box down a bit. I think this is a stiffer angle than some of our vault boxes. Well, this, you can see this is sort of like the same idea, but with foam. This is one of Duncan's custom foam equipment that he built back in North Carolina. And same general idea. This one has Velcro on the bottom to Velcro onto some of our padded panel mats. Giant version is called Tex. You can come, I'll just come around here and show you. So we also use, all of our precision things are meant to kind of like be like curves that you'd find out in a parking lot. These are actual curves that you would find in a parking lot. There's a flat variety as well, which I haven't seen outside, but it's very nice in here. This is just recycled plastic. I'm not sure what the company is called, but you can get those for like, they're kind of expensive. They're like 50 or 60 bucks, I think, each. This is just a grab bar on the ground. These are really nice because they're super light, and it gives you a bar. This is the other version of that. We did a video on a couple of these with threaded pipe and fittings. But what we like and what we'll be shifting towards is this design where we have a flat, unbroken surface on the top here. The bar fits into a cove that's cut out with a hole saw, and then that sits on a foot that's made out of Trex, so it won't bend. Trex is a composite wood material, and lots of rubber on the bottom to make it heavy. This is our thick Schedule 80 bars too. So these are fairly heavy things. We're going to make some shorter ones. This is a nice distance. You can actually put this on top of the vault box, way down both ends, and use this as a high precision platform or even as a swinging platform. I learned giants on these. I put 40 pounds on each end, and I do giants on it. It's pretty cool. Let's go back to the comments and see if we have any questions or anything else. Did I miss any names? Yeah. We don't have names for everything yet.
Stability. Yeah, so large movable rubber walls.
So the large movable rubber walls have a video on them. Look at the platforms video on, I think it's called adjustable platform wall or something like that. You can see it on our STURDYmade channel. and we're still testing out the new design. But when we have something good, we'll make an update video.
Any stability issues with the portal wall? Improvements for the next round?
So what we didn't show about the portal wall is that it has steel bricks in the base of it. Each of the steel bricks weigh almost 30 pounds, and we got them from the Restore nearby, which is just a recycled store. And we use those things to weigh down stuff quite a bit. So like the bases of each of the base of those portable walls has about 60 extra pounds on it, if not more. And we'll just keep adding more weight if we need it to be more stable. By themselves, the new portal wall that's made out of plywood, it has some weight permanently added to it already. It has like 60 pounds on each side, I think, of the bricks. And that one is rather stable. We can actually jump to the top of that wall. That's good. But what you're looking for every time when you're dealing with stability is you make your base as wide as you want, as wide as you feel comfortable with. If you need to like fit it through a doorway or something like that, you have to choose how wide it's going to be, and then you just want to make it as heavy as you can to make it stable. There's some trouble with the power. It fits in the top one. Just not all that
the
well.
thing isn't on. The lighting up now.
And this is how we plug things in at Parkour Visions.
Super exciting.
Not very well.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. He saw it's 20%.
We'll move it over to the other thing. Guys going to the bathroom. Thanks for commenting. Any questions about our big jam should be asked in the jam event or in the hostel Facebook group.
Yes, where did you buy rubber sheeting?
The rubber ground comes from a feed and farm supply. So this is horse stall matting, and it tends to be the cheapest that you can get rubber for mat floors. And I highly recommend getting the 3/4 stuff just because it's heavy, it won't move around on you. You'll be able to move heavy things around on it, and it won't break. So they come in 4x6 sheets. It's usually about $40 per sheet. It's kind of expensive, but I looked up as many different rubber as I could find, and it ended up being kind of like the cheapest unless you can get used. So 3/4 inch recycled rubber horse stall matting, my favorite. I really like it. Let's show the dolly, super dolly. That hasn't gotten a video on it. So this is I've gotten a lot of dollies like this for moving things around, and very, very handy if you haven't used it in a parkour jam. We used to flip around the jug. So I've got the box over there, which is a 4x4x6 box. Apex called them fridges. We used to flip that around, just end over end over end over end, and make it all the way around the gym like that. And that worked when our gym was 2,000 square feet. 10,000 square feet really helps to have things that'll help move around. Dollies are a good way to do that. This is the only dolly that survived, though. Most of the dollies break after an amount of time because of the diagonal load on the caster wheels here. When load comes in this way, it just tends to rip out of the base here, unless you use like really expensive casters. So I ended up building my own. And I chose double wheels here to give a wide base on this. I noticed that when we have really, really heavy things moving around the gym, it'll flip up the mats. And I'm talking about like a scissor lift, like a giant heavy thing. So wide base here, fairly cheap swivel wheel. Each one of these is like $10 off the McMaster car. And then these slanted angled walls. And I'll show you what that does. On the box like this, I'm off the wheels. And I'm going to get over on the side. So when my weight's here, I'm not putting any weight on the wheels. And when I come over, now I'm on top of this.
Do that again.
I'll do it on the box. This one's not. This box isn't heavy enough.
You gotta do it on a jug.
Go find something heavy to move. I'll show you how cool this thing is. I was going to spin it. Takes some time to get it balanced, but it's so nice. But it's that point when it's diagonal and it's putting all the weight on your dolly that I tend to break all the other ones. Our giant overhang that we move around weighs at least 800 pounds. I just got to weigh. It might even be 1,000, just because of how much plywood it has in it. It really helps to have dollies like this.
$2.
Yeah, that one takes $2. Should film this again. So many things. We're gonna end when our battery runs out, which is still a little while longer. Home Depot sells heavy-duty rubber casters. It's cool. I really like, if you guys ever want to learn about what's available in terms of just like different kinds of fasteners or rubber or that sort of stuff, like McMastercar.com is this ridiculous website. They have giant warehouses and they stock a crazy amount of things. It's really good for testing out new stuff that you're not sure how well it's going to work. There's casters there. I mean, there's everything. It's where I learned a lot about just what different hardware exists for the things that I want to do.
McMaster.com?
Yeah, McMaster. Company name is McMastercar. And what I'll often do is I'll go through their site and I'll research what it is that I want to make. A lot of their stuff is low rated with how much weight it can take. And I'll order a couple of different things to test it out, and then I'll try to find a local supplier. I'll go directly to the bigger companies that supply that kind of pipe or that kind of caster rails or something like that. And I'll find a local replacement that'll be cheaper and easier for us to get.
Talk about where do you get your grab bars and rails?
Grab bars you can buy new, but it's really not necessary. We have a great store here called the Restore. There's also a Habitat for Humanity version of the Restore as well. It's just basically like second use stores where people sell different construction materials and things like that to the store, and then you buy it for a cheaper price. We get grab bars for under $5 a foot generally, either through Craigslist or through second use stores. You want to be careful about which ones you get. They're not tested very high in terms of the weight that they can take. We did a video on grab bars. Definitely recommend checking that out, where I talked about how much weight you can take and what you're looking for in a good one. Nowadays, we just buy lots. We buy our pipe in bulk, our big Schedule 80 pipe in bulk, and we just try to figure out how to make everything out of that pipe.
Oh yeah. Question: what kind of weight training equipment do you guys have, and what are your plans for the future?
So let's take a camera. We run 4 weight training classes during the week, and they all happen in this little square. We use just a couple of squat racks, plate weights, and kettlebells, and some fun stuff over here in the corner, random dumbbells and things like that. The majority of what we see that people need is greater mobility, like actual greater range of motion in their joints. So we do a lot of foam rolling, and we do a lot of assisted stretching, banded stretching, that sort of thing. And then they also need to develop strength, mostly in the core. So we focus really, really heavily on getting them good form through basic Olympic lifts, like deadlifts, hip hinges, squats, that sort of thing. In the future, we're going to be expanding and maybe doing more body weight type stuff. you can accomplish similar things with the body weight exercises, but oftentimes when somebody has a lot of problems with their body, just like with no weight or very limited weight, bringing them through hip hinges and squats will help fix them to a much higher degree than like trying to build like a CrossFit routine or something like gymnastics strength routine. And I might get crap about that, but you can take it up with our with our curriculum heads.
That's all we got. No questions.
We are.
Questions.
Yeah. Didn't even take a. Oh no, wait, it's almost 3.
It's
yeah,
it's 2:40. Talking about
cool.
the
Didn't even take
squishy
an hour.
things.
Yeah, we have the squishy things we can go over, and anything else? That's pretty much it. This is cool. So if you guys don't have any more questions, we'll just show the few remaining things that we didn't talk about in the gym, and good. All of success. So this is all Colin's innovation here. There's a type of gymnastics foam that we got donated to us that's like an inch thick, and it's fairly bouncy. They put it underneath their like tumble tracks, and we found that when you stack up quite a bit of it, you can get quite a lot of bounce off it. So the system that we developed for creating squishy obstacles was to just take this foam layers, cut it bit by bit, zap, 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 make hard layers, and then take a piece of vinyl, fold it over it, kind of pleat it on because it doesn't fit a perfect fold. And then on the underside here, there's a thin piece of plywood in here that the vinyl is just stapled to. And we use just lots and lots of staples. And then we cover up those ugly staples with another base. So this is another piece of plywood on top of that with some rubber feet. And it works really well for this flat obstacle that we call a Comac. And this can actually replace the springboard, which is nice. And then we made a badger. If you guys don't know, a badger is when you come down like this, come over the box that way. And this is really nice for teaching it. And the backwards dolphin. So this is the purpose of that box. This is actually an old vault box of ours that was turned into badger. We have video of Bowser up, and we have a little bit of talk about this, but we took an old vault box that just wasn't in very good shape. It was very tippy, and we wrapped this foam around it, cut each layer so it would fit about the same, and then did the same folding and pleating method. And we have some wear over it. Like this is a year old, something like that. But it's likely not going to be too hard to fix this. This vinyl coating is something that you can glue on extra patches to and things like that. And this is a giant version. This we have a video on. This is called Bowser. It's missing its stencil right now. But same idea, just to a much bigger scale. Because the base is not very wide for this, we put like 300 pounds of weight on the inside, which you may or may not be able to see. We covered it up a bit, but we took just a bunch of old Craigslist weight that we weren't going to use that was in metric or something like that. So in there, along with some steel layers.
You're not going to be able to see anything in there.
And this moves around the gym and acts basically as a portable, squishy wall. It's strong enough that you can run up the side and do wall flips off it, and it won't flip over. And you can jump to it from height as well and land on it. It's nice to have squishy equipment in the gym. I can show you some of the other gymnastic stuff that Duncan made a long time ago. We tend to not try to rely on the squishy stuff. We might use it as the first introduction to something or when we're training for max power. But we teach using a progressive method that brings people up even on hard obstacles because we want to be able to teach them the same way we teach them inside, outside, no matter where we are. These are called table trainers, I think, in the gymnastics world. And these are custom ones that have Velcro in them so that they can be changed the size. You can actually stack up multiple ones of these together. We also have some foam nuggets that are just tiny ball boxes. And all of these have this Velcro on the bottom. The way that works is we have these handle mats that are specially designed with the same Velcro added in. You can take them. nice for kids, especially smaller kids, and often is like a max distance precision or something like that.
Do we talk about straps? Yeah. We'll talk about straps.
Yeah, should strap.
That's it?
Do you like have to do something to update it here or no?
No.
Cool. Okay, well, the battery in my computer is about to die. So thank you guys for coming, asking questions, and seeing our first live show. This was kind of fun. Good tour of the gym. And if you guys have any more questions or you want to learn more stuff about building, like head to the Facebook group. Make sure that you're a member of the Facebook group. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, STURDYmade. It's really good to keep your education up on this stuff and keep thinking about it. Because if you are going to be starting a program, or if you run a gym, like, you are responsible for all the students in your program. And if your equipment is a concern and it has risk of breaking, like, you are putting all your students at risk. So like, this is something that I had to educate myself about. I really didn't know anything about this when I first started. I watched a lot of YouTube videos about woodworking. I talked to engineer friends. I experimented with a lot of different ways to build things, and it got us to where we are now. And we don't necessarily know all that much yet, but we're very open about sharing with you guys. So please ask any questions, and let's get it out there. We can use the last bit of battery that my computer has and show the shop, because we never showed the shop. Very briefly. Hopefully the Wi-Fi still works in here.
Oh yeah, that might be an issue.
Fairly open floor here in the shop, and it's fairly dirty as well. Colin can just show you guys. Not too much to say about it. It's in reorganization mode right now, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But it's very nice to have one. Ours used to be a lot smaller. Cool. Thank you guys. This is Colin. Colin, excellent filmer. Very good job. Designer of a lot of this stuff as well. We'll talk to you again soon. Got to get to the computer now to turn it off.